Hello, everyone, and welcome to the OHKO Week 2 recap review. I'm your host, Split Second Place, as well as joined by my co-host, Dev, and we got some of this just ready to roll, but kind of if we go on, Dev, probably people are wondering, what in the world happened to Week 1? How'd y'all go to Week 2 already? We got a little bit covered.
We were super busy for basically the first 2 weeks, so that's why Week 2's even coming out a little bit late. But don't freak out. We'll have the Week 3 and everything else hopefully on time.
Yeah, hopefully. We're still working on it, but we've also got a battle. I don't know. Maybe we throw that in there as a little bit of an extra bit there. Just do it live. Probably not, because I don't know how much Dev's team is prepared.
I actually have my team prepared on Showdown. It just take a little bit to get it in game.
Well, maybe not so much, but we tried. But yeah.
All right, well, let's hop right into it.
Yeah, we'll go on ahead and go in there. But as you can see, there's been a lot of that's going on through Week 1. We just have a couple of things written down, not necessarily on the slide, but as you can see, there's a couple pictures for different matches that happened. You'll notice my match in the lower right corner with the real Mega Blastoise. Please stand up, figure out where the Ditto is.
Yeah, we got mine top left. I can't remember. I think that is Kodo versus Bolt Beam on the top right, and then that is Joe Brown versus Party Early on the bottom left.
Gotcha.
Go watch all of those games, by the way. They are all in the Draft League upload channel. That's what that's called.
We got on the playlist. We got on the Discord. So if you don't know where to go, if nothing else, you join the Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord, I don't know what you're doing. But if you go to the Discord and you just come to the draft channel probably, and you're just like, hey, I heard there's draft content. Where's it at? Someone, either me or Joe or one of my fellow mods and Moggy or Hannah can probably direct you to the right place.
Yep. Well, let's get right into the recap. I can go over the first game that we've got. The first game of the season was the Sacramento Skeletors versus the Rocky Mountain Cloisters. This was a battle of the Skarmories, Mega Skarmory versus non-Mega Skarmory. The Mega Skarmory did eventually win out. I mean, Mega Skarmory is Mega for a reason. It was a 2-0 for the Rocky Mountain Cloisters. Funny enough, Toxapex got the most KOs with 3. I mean, Toxapex is not something you really think of getting KOs. And then kind of the biggest loser of the game was Mega Delphox. It showed up both games, didn't do anything, died both times, and went 0-2. So, yeah, not a great game for Mega Blastoise. That's just on the screen, not in the game. Not a good game for Mega Delphox. Fun if you like Skarmory.
But yeah, speaking of the Blastoise, we're going to hop into another match, which was mine, of the Lexington Water Shurikens versus Moon of the coach of the Anastar Angels. Kind of going partially into it, Mega Greninja was pulling up in the first half with just OHKOs left and right. It went 3-0 for game 1. I'm pretty sure I caught Moon off guard when I went for Sunny Day with the Sableye, and then Weather Ball OHKO the Metagross, or Mega Metagross, my bad. And then soon to be followed after just getting one shot for games 2 and 3. Probably should have not Mega before I went for Protect and then gone and had Water Shuriken that week, but unfortunately I didn't. So got KO'd by a Choice Scarf Mammoth with superpower of all things. And then to make matters worse, then there was the Farigiraf and Blastoise and Trick Room combo that just kind of did me in.
Would it make you feel better if I knew something had superpower before going into the game?
No, because I still lost to it and didn't know that was going to happen. So it's like, well, I should have switched out, but I didn't know what to do. I think I just kind of was like surprised and caught me off guard.
Moon before the game, no context, just sent me superpower, and I had no idea what that meant until I saw the game.
Yeah, get that. I guess we need a Moggy or somebody to make fan art for the draft league memes of just Mammoth Swan in a superhero cape. No, I don't know how it's going to work. Would its cape be tied around its tusk? And if that's the case, is it just like cut out, or is it going to just be blindly trying to hit superpower somewhere?
I don't know. That's kind of an interesting question. I haven't thought about that. Moving into our next game, we've got the Light of Ruin versus the Manhattan Morpekos. This was kind of a struggle of a game, kind of between both. This lasted a very long time. I should have counted the number of turns. I didn't. On the game's loss, the Manhattan Morpekos only had a combined 2 KOs. There was 3 KOs taken from the Light of Ruin side, but one of them was Garchomp KOing its own teammate, because that's what Garchomp loves to do. Primarina tried its best. It went 3-0 in game 2 to carry as much to a victory as possible, but sadly it did not end up doing it. Garchomp was the MVP of this set. It went 5-2 over the course of all 3 games. It was a very valuable Pokemon on the Light of Ruin side. The biggest loser was the Mega Scovillain. It went 1-3. Obviously, it's a more supportive Mega, but still, kind of wish it pulled its own a little bit harder. It did do some nice things with Burn, but what's very interesting about that set is there was a Misty Terrain setting Whimsicott. So that burns really weren't a factor throughout the entire game with that Mega Scovillain. So those burns were just kind of shut down right away with that set. So Light of Ruin won 2-1.
And then we kind of got one of their matches of Joe Brown, coach of the New Haven Charizards, and then Party Arley, the coach of the Los Angeles Leaps. Or did I skip one? Oh,
yeah,
my
you
bad.
can just do that one, but I'll go to the other one. You're good.
Okay. Kind of, that's on me. That's my fault. Apologies for that. But kind of the thing there is, Moon, is that you? Because apparently Arley timed out in game 2. And kind of there was a Mega Staraptor that went off in game 2 with all the KOs. Not surprising considering of what Staraptor does. If it can get set up, it's going to start the steamroll. Heliolisk had a big game in game 1 and got 3 KOs out of the 4 possible. And for the MVP, obviously Mega Staraptor with 5 out of 8 kills. And then the biggest loser was Arch Aladon. Even, I'm guessing, probably in rain because I have not seen that match. So apologies there. I've been having all sorts of busyness, but apparently went 0-2. And
yeah.
Joe Brown won the set 2-0.
Yeah, I just to give you a little bit of a kind of what happened in that set. Heliolisk had Focus Blast and hit Arcalodon for like 99% in game 1, and then I forget exactly how the Arcalodon died, but yeah, that Arcalodon was just bullied that entire set.
That poor Arch.
Yeah. Next up, we've got the Los Angeles Drampa versus the Sherwood. Wow, I was about to say Scrafties. That's not right. Sherwood Shiftries. That's the game you can kind of see in that top right corner. This was a great game to watch. If there was a game of the week that we can say after the week, that is probably my game of the week. It was a very, very close set. Super close games. It was a literal weather war. There were 3 different types of weather with Mega Charizard Y, obviously with that sun, Tyranitar with sand, and then there was an Alolan Ninetales that was able to set snow up as well. So just a lot of resources put into shutting down that Charizard, and it worked for the most part. The most KOs were tied between Tyranitar and another Mega Skarmory. There are, if we didn't really cover this at the beginning, there are 2 different divisions. For those of you who do not follow the OHKO Draft League, there is the Dawn and Dusk. I should have put the divisions. This was the Dawn. Yes, this was the Dawn division, and then the first one that we covered with the Mega Skarmory was of the Dusk. So both of those, Tyranitar and Mega Skarmory, got 3. There were no like Mons that there are some games where you'll see Mons get like the 3, 4, 5 KOs almost like per game. There were none of that in these 3 sets. All of the KOs were super close. No one was the standout, oh, this was the thing that got all the KOs, even if they were all cleanup. But Scovillain, easily the biggest loser, went 0-3. Kind of same thing in the other Scovillain match. It kind of just didn't do anything, and this one was a non-mega Scovillain as well. So it really just kind of sat there to die. Los Angeles Champas won that one 2-1.
Yeah, and then we have also for the Dust Division, there was another match between the San Antonio Spectres, coached by Quick Panic, and also the Memphis Manetrics, coached by Will. And the Memphis Manetrics had a slow start with no KOs at all, and then San Antonio literally did not show a back Pokemon, so that's kind of a flex there. Rotom Mo got the most KOs with 3, and Incineroar, Passimian, and Mega T-Tar all went 0-2, which is unfortunate.
Yep.
But still probably got a team to look out for because of Pocket Sand incoming.
Yeah, that was a very quick game, very quick stomp. I don't think it was a recorded game, sadly, which I wish all the games could be recorded, but some people aren't able to capture, and then I'm able to capture, but I, like, for a lot of games are like am busy or something. So I wish we could get all of them captured because it's fun to watch. Yeah,
we try to get to some, but all times all over the place, so it's hard to get every single one.
Yep. Next up was the Atlanta Braviary, not Bravery, versus the St. Louis Pika Blues. This was the Zard Y showcase of the week. Unlike the Dawn Division Mega Charizard Y, the Dusk Division Charizard Y showed out 5-0 overall. That is my MVP of that game. St. Louis got 1 KO the entire set. It was Mega Crabominable in game 1, which that team is a very hard Trick Room team. So if that Trick Room does not get set up, then you're kind of just boned the entire way. This again wasn't a recorded game, so we can't go back and say for certain what happened. But it seemed like Trick Room never got going. Vileplume and Charizard seemed to be kind of that disruptive lead, because it seems like those were the 2 Pokemon that were led, at least in game 1. At game 2, maybe they were both led, unsure. Farigga and Araquanid both fell flat, going 0-2. Obviously, Fariggra's more of a supportive mon, but Araquanid is kind of there, I feel like, for a little bit more offense with that Water Bubble ability.
I'm also wondering if Wide Guard was used, or if it wasn't used, and if it was potentially on the wrong turns, and there was a Weather Ball thrown out instead of the Heat Wave.
Yeah, Araquanid is a very interesting Pokemon, especially in Draft League, because of kind of everything that it can do. But Atlanta Braviary, they won that one 2-0.
Yeah. And then we have another match for the Dawn Division between the Columbus, but my goodness, I'm getting tongue-tied myself. The Columbus Caradon, coached by Caden, and then the Green Bay Griffey's, coached by, I believe, Eli Robo. Yes. Hopefully I'm saying that name right.
I think that's how you say it.
But it was the Sand versus the Slow Bros, and Steel versus Steel. It was super close games in both the first and second game, with 1 Pokemon living a piece for each side. And Columbus just shows that it's just a mirage, and whops game 3 at 4-0, with a Trick Room prevailing in this case, because the MVP of that match was Mega Mawile, going 7-1, and the biggest loser was Aerodactyl at 0-2.
Yeah, going 7-1 as a Trick Room Pokemon, that's prime Torkoal numbers right there.
I mean, if you're underspeeding everything and you have huge power, it's kind of hard to beat in Trick Room.
True. Yeah, the super close games 1 and 2 were very, again, I wish games were recorded so we could see everything, but having a super close game 1 and 2, I'm wondering what changed to make that game 3 just a complete blowout. Because that's it seems kind of interesting, where it goes oh, it could go either way. Oh, now game 3, just you win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any more thoughts on that one?
I don't think so as of right now.
Cool.
So
yeah. Next up is my game, the Detroit Steel Wings versus the Scottsdale Scrafty. Simisear was the mega killer this game. There were 2 megas on the opposing side. Simisear got both of them. First game, it KO'd a Mega Staraptor that had +1 defenses with a crit, but we don't need to talk about that. And second game, it KO'd a Mega Raichu. Mega Raichu Y, because there's 2 of them. Story of bad RNG. There was a missed gunk shot in game 1 that probably could have swung the game. I'm not exactly sure. Obviously it would have been a lot closer than it was, but I'm not sure. Yeah, probably that would have won the game if that one missed or that one hit. I'm not gonna lie. But there was also the critical hit through the Mega Staraptor. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say something Rally Factura, something only run accurate moves.
Yeah. It was from a Scarf Crocodile, so it was a very interesting set, which, I mean, that's Draft League for you. Mega Sceptile, because it didn't get KO'd that game, went 4-0 over the course of the game, so I'm crowning it the MVP of that, despite Simisear killing both Megas. Goldengo was the biggest loser. It went 0-2 and did not get to click an attacking move the entire game. Game 1, it died turn 1, and then game 2, it set up Substitute, and then protected 3 times and died. So yeah, Scottsdale Scrafty win that one 2-0.
I don't think it's a gold dingo in that case. I think it's a bronze dingo or something like that. Got a little rust on that gold, but
rust
kind of just oh gosh. If it has Pokerus, that's its ability. Instead of good as gold, it's something, I don't know what the name of the ability would be, but if it has Pokerus, all its moves get boosted by 10% or something. But kind of jumping into it to another match in the Dawn Division, the Avalos Iron Crowns, coached by Moggy, as well as versing Southside Sabres, coached by Lucrative. Megapart, obviously the rain was up. Moggy said, I'm keeping weather up and you're going to like it. Would probably Sable on that match, what I would say. Because the thing went on a tear of going 6-0. As well as not being able to get broken through. Southside Sabres only got 2 KOs all set, and though the Megas were brought, neither was able to KO with KOs going to Sneasler and Spiritomb. So that's probably the shocker for that game. With the biggest loser being Electros going 0-2, and Moggy gets the Avalos Iron Crowns a 2-0 win.
Yeah, it seemed like Mega Swampert just could not be stopped that game. Yeah, next up was the Hungry Houndours versus the Seattle Super Sceptiles. That's both of those are a tongue twister with the 3 word names. It seemed like a very grindy game, obviously not recorded, but Parrish does seem to have played a factor. There was a Mega Gengar and Politoed on... Oh, I should have wrote that down. I didn't. I don't remember who had who. But there was a Mega Gengar. I don't know if you're on the slides and can tell me, but I want to say that the Houndours had Gengar. I think I remember...
I got the wrong one up. Yes, they did.
Okay. Yeah, I thought so, because I thought I remembered the Sceptiles having Floette. Okay, so yes, Mega Gengar was there with Politoed. Mega Gengar went 0-1 game 1 and 3-0 in game 2. So seems like probably Parrish got set up and then just didn't really do anything in game 1, and then game 2 just kind of blew everything out of the water. Mega Floette, despite being the tactical nuke of the format that we have mentioned multiple times, it was neutralized and only went 1-2, which again, Mega Gengar, that doesn't really surprise me, but still a very interesting thing for Mega Floette to only be getting 1 KO through 2 games. Hungry Houndours, they did win 2-0.
And then we had, for the final match for week 1, we had the New York Mudbrays, coached by Lorcy and versus Toledo Torco, who the coach there is King Win. With the other Charizard that can Mega Evolve of the format for the Dawn Division. However, Dust Division. But unfortunately, the Megazard fell a little flat, only getting going 1-2 and no KOs for the second game. Mega Frostless also did not get any KOs in game 1, but the other Tauros believer and me rooting on that team and Espathra were able to clean it up, and there might have been some Trick Room gameplay that was supposed to go on, but it failed in game 1, and a fast mode failed in game 2, with Paldean Tauros being the MVP of that match, going 3-0, and the biggest loser being Manetric at 0-2, and Worsley brought home the New York Mud Braves a win 2-0.
Oh,
don't sleep on Tauros, folks. I've been saying it for a while.
Do you have any other thoughts for just the majority of week 1, or do you think we can head into week 2, even though that wasn't the quickest week 1 recap?
Yeah, we tried as fast as possible, but yeah, I think we can go on ahead and jump into week 2, and I'm up first. And oh boy. As you can see, there were some shenanigans going on based off of just the slides alone. You got, in one game, it is Rotom, in another game, it's Zoroark disguised as a Rotom, and we'll kind of just go right into game 1 of it. For leads on my side, it was Mega Greninja and Talonflame versus Mega Skarmory and Hisuian Zoroark on the Los Angeles Drampa side, but in that game, it was disguised as Rotom Mo. Unfortunately, game 1 was a battle of misses and speed control. Not in my favor, because we both went for Icy Win. Him with Zoroark, I don't know if it's a male or a female, so apologies for that. I need to get better about that. I know I do that all the time. I know I just try to keep just saying y'all or something, bring out the southernness in me. But yeah, Zoroark went for the Icy Win connected, and I did not connect my Icy Win on the Mega Skarmory, which we also both went for Tailwind on that turn. Mega Skarmory whipping it out on the Los Angeles Drampa side, and Talonflame with Gale Wings on my side. And the Icy Wind miss did make a difference, because then I'm stuck into Protein because I went on ahead and Mega Evolve that turn, and got hit pretty hard with a body press. I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering right off the top of my head, I think it was like 90% down to 17%. So yes. That one was a hurt. And then Flare Blitz came out from the Talonflame and just nuked the Mega Skarmory, but Bitternut Mouse from Zoroark KO'd the Talonflame's response, and then Garchomp came in at neutral speed while I'm minus basically 2 at that point, because at some point another Icy Wind got thrown out. And for some reason my thought process is, okay, I'm going to try to preserve Greninja at some point, to hopefully bring it back in and hopefully get something off. Ditto was in the back and basically just got slaughtered as a result, and Garchomp took that game with 3 out of 4 KOs, so Los Angeles went to game 1 with a game 1 win. And then we get into game 2, and not very many other great things going on, because once again, don't try to Mega, trying to figure out what to do, because it's Greninja with my Sableye this time, and then Mega Skarmory and actual Rotom come to this game. The tale of resist berries, let me tell you. Yachi Berry and Paso Berries just basically made my Greninja have a rough time and a hard time. With Electroshock drops and me not thinking about it at the time and trying to get a sneaky Water Shuriken off with Rain Dance. However, with me being faster, Rain Dance goes after I go for Water Shuriken, so I don't get the boost in that scenario. Then even in Rain, Overheat just once again hurts the Ice Type Greninja now because Protein is nerfed. I'm blaming Terrestrialization, so I'll never forgive that for that mechanic reason. I refuse to believe that's not the reason Protein and Libero got nerfed like they did. And I was like, we'll get it back. No, we do not unnerf the nerf. And then Floette came in and it KO'd with Pollen Puff onto Rotom. But then shortly after, I try to switch into Talonflame, and then Arcanine switches into Garchomp, and well, Brave Birds are still launching about 50% into every Mon, even though the Skarmory is burned, and then Garchomp just comes in and destroys Floette and Talonflame because it's scarfed. So we kind of can get into a couple awards or unawards, however you want to talk about it. So if you go to the next slide there, Dave. The dud of the game has to be Will-O-Wisp or Will-O-Miss in this case for Rain Dance Seiwai with Water Shuriken Greninja because didn't think about my priority brackets and speed, right? The Shell Shockers of the game, Pollen Puff, Floette, KOing Rotom Mo, and obviously a Burns Mega Skarmory just having just a crap ton of damage output. It was obviously a Garchomp killing spree, and hindsight being 2020, I tried to get creative with Shell Bell, but would have probably been smarter just have Scarf and would have made a difference in those matches if it was on Floette. Potentially, but the world will never know. And I'm getting back on the movement of unnerf Protein.
Yeah, I don't know if I was on vacation during upload day week. So I don't think I ever got an actual chance to watch this game. So I need to go back after this and watch. But it does not seem like you had the greatest of times.
It was unfortunately not the best. Just wait till we get to week 3. It'll probably show on my face during that match. And it's not anything. My opponents played extremely well, but yeah, I kind of probably was my own worst enemy in overthinking and stuff.
That's the hardest thing to get over is the overthinking.
And we we'll wait till we cover week 3 and we'll get into discussions when that comes around.
I'm not looking forward to the week 3 recap either. So.
But yeah, Dev, you want to tackle our next match?
Yeah, the next match was the New Haven Charizards versus the Atlanta Braveries. Both of these teams coming in at 1-0. During game 1, it was a lead of Sableye and I was about to say Gengar. There's no Gengar here. I don't think anybody has a Gengar here. Sableye and Garchomp versus the Grimmsnarl and Heliolisk. There was a Prankster into a Dark type switch in. That happens. Yeah, there was just a lot of kind of interesting plays throughout this whole thing. Sound move. Did I write this? I think I did. I probably did.
This might have been me.
Was it you? Because I'm like, I don't remember. Sound move happened through the sub, parting shot, and hyper voice. So if for those of you who do not know, I assume most of you do, but if anybody does not, sound moves are not protected through substitute. Just because like you put a sub up that just you can still hear. That's kind of the thinking is like you can still hear things happening. And then also I found this out the hard way during I think like Reg G. Encore also happens through sub. That's a good pro tip there.
Well, I did not know about the Encore one myself.
Yeah, I got Encore by like a
status move rather than a sound move, but I guess it makes sense.
Like disable fails, but not Encore. So weird. Mega Garchomp hit the field instead of Zard, which was very interesting. But do you know, I think this was a Mega Zard Y, is that correct? For Atlanta? I think it's that. Yeah, Atlanta would have it.
Let me get right here. Yes, it is a Megazard Y instead of a Garchomp.
I assume so.
No, they both have Megazard Y and Garchomp, but it was a shocker when I watched this to see Mega Garchomp was the decision to Mega Evolve.
Yeah, I believe that's just. I think that decision probably came down to it being. I think it's a rain team. Does Joe have a rain team? I think he does. He's got Basculegion and Heliolisk, so that leads me to think he does.
It's kind of a partial rain team in a sense. It has Basculegion and Heliolisk, just probably for that. I know he has Grimmsnarl.
Yeah.
Yes, kind of in a way, yes, because it also has Politoed, but
okay.
It's kind of hard to make that decision, so that one's for Joe to decide.
Yeah, I feel like the
there is the Mo, but I
Y.
always look at the Staraptor, and that's what I always go to first.
Yeah. The Megazard Y was probably, the non-Megazard Y probably was due to that Politoed. An unfortunate Will-O-Wisp miss. I can only assume that was into like the Basculegion or something, because again, I like missed a lot of these games because I never got the chance to actually watch them. Ice Beam being revealed in game 1 is pretty big because that's not a guarantee. And then Mega Staraptor just steamrolling, being Staraptor, doing Staraptor things. Heading into game 2, we can see that the leads were the Grimmsnarl and Heliolisk again, with the Aerodactyl this time and the Mega Garchomp. Little bit of a switch up from Atlanta here, just because I assume probably wanted to get more speed control with that Aerodactyl, especially with the Heliolisk being able to outspeed both the Sableye. I mean, Sableye always has Prankster, but being able to outspeed the Sableye if it went for a damaging move, as well as being faster than Garchomp, because I think Heliolisk is about, I think it's like 110 base speed, but it would outspeed, but it would not outspeed that Aerodactyl.
Actually, I don't think we covered it yet, but I'm sure it's on one of the other slides, but the Heliolisk was choice scarfed as well for Shed Tail.
Oh, interesting. Did not know that.
So,
Rock Slide from that Aerodactyl, or was it from? I'm asking you. Rock Slide from something negated the Shed Tail.
I'm pretty sure it was from the Aerodactyl, if I'm remembering right.
That would make sense, even though I know both of them learn it, so I shouldn't assume. But Rock Slide from, assuming the Aerodactyl into the Shed Tail from the Scarf Heliolisk, negated that Shed Tail. Stomping Tantrum, and then Rock Slide into the Arcanine. I don't know what you mean by Sash Saber. Can you be a little bit more descriptive on that?
Something had a sash, and therefore it lived when it would have died otherwise. I don't remember what had the sash, but I do remember that saved something, and then that basically got switched out.
I promise going forward we'll have better notes.
Yeah,
this was we eventually needed to get something out.
Yeah. It was a time crunch and trying to make it look good.
Yep. So we'll do better going forward. Double swaps from Arrow and Chomp into Sylveon and Sableye being the ones on the back for the Atlanta Braveries. Another 2 Will-O-Wisp misses. That is very unfortunate. Finally getting the third, which I can only assume is probably again onto the Basculegion or something. Foul play saves the day and means a game 3, which probably was from the Sableye into, again, probably Basculegion.
I don't remember what it was into, but I know foul play just went nuts.
It went into something. The final leads for game 3, Grimmsnarl and Heliolisk versus Sylveon and Sableye. Yet another switch up from Atlanta, and Charizard is going for the exact same lead all 3 games. Shed Tail this time went into a Metagross, but a foul play destroys that substitute before it can do anything. A great call from the Atlanta Braviaries. I assume that was he did it twice. I'm going to do actually attack into it this time. Fake tears into Metagross. I assume that was
Yeah, I
from
think
the
there was
Sableye.
no, it was if I'm remembering right, I think, which maybe Joe forgot what Meg he brought, I think, because I think it was side target from Grimmsnarl, if I remember right. I was like,
Oh,
so that was
interesting.
something that happened there. So I'm a guessing he, if I'm remember, I could be wrong, but I think is what happened. Maybe it was supposed to be a shed tail and he thought it was Staraptor instead, potentially.
But then it wouldn't be Megan.
I don't know. Off the top of my head, I just remember something caught me off guard.
That's fair.
The fake tears, so.
Foul play, nuking that Metagross on the next turn, and then that leads into a Furret Game 3 victory. I'm hoping that the next couple are more descriptive.
Yeah. I'll try to get on it better next time, but
yeah, so kind of some of the awards and all the other stuff. The Comfey Champions Award, a Grimmsnarl and Roostaraptor. I assume that just means that they kept healing each other and would never die.
Yep. The clerics of the team for that.
Yep. Shell Shockers of the game, Sableye, missing all of the Will-O-Wisp, but still putting in work with that foul play.
Yep.
Joe predicting 5 of the 6 mons he prepped for. Good prep work. Unfortunate that wasn't able to take the game. Scarf Shedtail is definitely an interesting choice, especially when Heliolisk is kind of already faster than most things on the opposing team. I assume that was scarfed to be able to threaten that Aerodactyl. That would be kind of my one guess with that. Yeah. What did you mean by Joe's caster mod?
So in that match, if you go and rewatch it, a lot of the people he casts with, as well as some of his friends, are pretty much almost every mon has a name incorporated into it.
I see. So does an Ice Beam reveal in game 1 change how Atlanta adapts for game 2 and 3? I would definitely say yeah. Because knowing that you are like heavily threatened by something that can one-hit KO your Mega probably makes it so that, I should be more careful with it, and then that probably changes, like, okay, he prepped a lot for this, so I'm going to play around something else.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe it was thinking about potentially a Heliolisk plus a Politoed lead for something, potentially. And if it's Scarf, maybe be able to have an Aerodactyl out there to be like, well, I'll either switch this up or I can wide guard for the Electro Web not to hit me, or I can Tailwind and then probably be fine.
Yeah.
So long as the Rock Slide Flinch comes out, I guess. I don't know Politoed calcs off the top of my head if it's going to lift something from Garchomp, especially a Mega one.
I feel like you could probably make it pretty bulky, because I know Politoed is sometimes very annoying to kill depending on the set and who's playing it.
Yeah.
Quash or not to quash. That's another one where
yeah, that was with the Sableye thing, but I don't even know if it had quash or not. From what I remember, I know there was Will-O-Wisp and foul plays thrown out. I would guess probably the last two moves are probably screens, but we'll never know unless Furt decides to reveal that tech or not.
Yeah. How much does Parting Shot change the outcome of Game 2 foul play?
So in Game 2, it got down really much because the Sableye was still clicking foul play. Joe was going for Parting Shot into his Staraptor still, so it was slowly.
I see.
Granted, the Staraptor was burned, but I don't think the burn takes into effect. I think it's based off of what your stats are. I could be wrong about that.
I'm not sure about.
But it was just more of keep boosting to do more attacking, but also I think Joe either went to +5 or +6 in attack, so the foul play just kind of kept stacking it one way or another and doing more damage. So
yeah. That makes sense. Well, 3 out of 3 Mega Garchomps. That one is pretty self-explanatory. Mega Garchomp coming to every single game. I think that is very interesting, especially when you do have the Mega Charizard Y, just to not switch it up at least one of the games. I guess if it's working for you, why bother changing it? But just a little interesting to not think about, oh, maybe I want to bring Zard Y this game to try and catch him off guard. But obviously it worked out very well. So.
And of course, wrapping that up for the miscellaneous, for Sableye and Will-O-Wisp, so you don't miss them, use code Sableye at VelmaDinkleyGlasses.com to get 15% or more boost in your accuracy.
Yep. All right, moving on to the next game.
Yep, we got the Rocky Mountain Cloisters, coached by Zach Bean Beans. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I think he's ZBB now in Discord. And then Lot of Ruin coached by Aldrich. And in game one, the leads for Rocky Mountain Cloisters were Mousehold and Gardevoir. And from the Lot of Ruin side was Pyroar and Whimsicott. So what Zach was trying to do in this game, and I believe also in the very next game, was trying to trace the Prankster from Whimsicott and get some Calm Minds off. Unfortunately, it does not copy that and gets the Pyroar ability. Rivalry is probably what it was, but I don't remember what it was off the top of my head. I know it wasn't Moxie, I can tell you that. So whatever, it had to be one of the 2 other abilities. But a taunt kind of shut down the Prankster shenanigans from the Whimsicott side. But there's also a Sash Whimsicott in that game. A Fall Meet and Protect to try to sack a Mousehold, but unfortunately that doesn't happen. So there is definitely a Mega Gardevoir trying to hit it with things too, and it lives several hits because of Frame Guard ability there. But unfortunately, at some point during that, Garchomp comes out and Regime called they want the Rock Slide flinch back. And then that game one, Floette and Garchomp kind of just clean it up, and a lot of Ruin takes game one, but a Flare Blitz brings Floette to 28%. So I believe that was from Infernape on Zach's side. So it was a whole lot of damage. I was like, okay then. And I do not believe it was Live Orb either, so I was very surprised with that amount of damage into the Floette.
Yeah.
But kind of hopping into game two, the leads were still Gardevoir and Mouse on Rocky Mountain Cloister side, and then Floette and Whimsicott this time as a slight change up for Lot of Ruin. Thankfully, this time Gardevoir did get to trace Prankster, and then set up a Calm Mind with a couple Fall Me's thrown out by the Mousehold, followed by it Mega Evolving after hitting Calm Mind once and just doing a crap ton of damage with a pixelated Hyper Voice. Infernape comes in to bypass Protects also with a feint, and therefore gets around Floette trying to protect and gets rid of it. There's a switch from the Infernape to a Skarmory, but slowly at some point, EQ from a Garchomp comes out and KOs Whimsicott, which was on the other side, so it's like a two versus something at that point. But of course, then out of nowhere, not on my bingo card, was unexpected Scorching Sands from Pyroar. Hurts the Infernape pretty bad, but the Infernape, it lives also at 3 HP from a Rock Slide Garchomp, and a Will-O-Wisp comes out. The Flamethrower does get a KO also onto a Skarmory from Lot of Ruin side. Infernape KOs Pyroar in return, but and then a Tailwind expires from the Whimsicott from the Light of Ruin side, as well as a Rock Slide miss, but unfortunately Rough Skin kind of does what it needs to and gets rid of the Infernate to give Light of Ruin the win. And then kind of going on to the other thing is a weird flex they got brought into that game was Orthworm showed up, Orthworm didn't show up, but Altaria was brought from Lot of Ruin side, which I was like, okay then. There's also a Mental Herb Mousehold, probably for the Whimsicott would be my guess, just so Prankster Encore, if it tries to follow me, it gets rid of that. We have our first guest appearance and as time goes on, he will be there. We have Moggy. I just thought it'd be a fun play on words to do Moggy Lobby instead of Hobby Lobby. Friend Guard makes Gardevoir also just an extreme special wall when it Mega Evolves. And we also got a little bit of a crossover between Pokemon and Full Metal Alchemist because the Infernape was nicknamed Roy Mustang. And also, does a flinch make a difference in game one? And also, just for Zach Beans, because I know he also did switch out at one point, but Faint has +2 priority and Prankster is just +1. Don't worry about that. I also did my research. I was like, wait a second, is that right? So I had to go fact check myself.
I didn't know that, actually. That's maybe will be good for my prep against you this week.
It would get past, well, now I'm in trouble. I don't know where your team gets Faint, so maybe we need to figure that out real quick.
I don't know if anything actually gets Faint.
But yeah, I think it was the scenario where if he went for Faint onto the Whimsicott, I think it was already brought down to probably a Sash and would have just probably swung it back into his favor for game 2.
Yeah.
Especially
that's kind of the things that you either don't know because you've never seen it before, or you just forget because there's a million other things you're thinking about, like, oh, he's got priority. I think Faint, I'm slower than him, and my priority is probably slower than his priority, so it just happens.
Yeah. Moving on to your match, Dev.
Yes,
I'll let you tackle this one.
I obviously am coach of the Scottsdale Scrafty, as mentioned before, and I played the Green Bay Graphite, coached by Eli Robot, who we think we're saying the name of, right? Game 1, so leads were Simisear and Gardevoir against Galarian Slowbro and Sableye. I can say just off the start of this, I had no idea what to do against this lead because I had not prepped for this lead kind of at all. I had no idea what to expect, so very interesting. So turn 1 went kind of about how you expected. I faked out the Slowbro, Moonblasted the Sableye to bring it down to about 70% after he used a Light Screen. Very interesting about this combination of leads is that Sableye does have Quash, and interesting, I'd never played Galarian Slowbro before, and I'm not going to try and say that I have. I had no idea what it could do. Shell Sidearm, interesting move. Did quite a bit into my Gardevoir, but yeah, just kind of a very interesting mon. Throat Chop I brought on Simisear specifically for this Slowbro. I didn't think that I would actually see it, but glad that I brought Throat Chop. Did a lot of damage into it. Next turn, Flare Blitz from Simisear is able to KO the Sableye. Protected on Gardevoir that turn so that the Shell Sidearm wouldn't take me out. And then the next turn, I double swapped from Simisear and Gardevoir into Sceptile and Tauros, thinking that I would get a Intimidate drop on whatever came in after the Sableye went down, which was the Tyranitar. Am I lying? Was it the Tyranitar that came out? I can't remember. I think it was the Tyranitar in that slot. Regardless, I was getting an Intimidate down on whatever came in there. And then I wanted to swap in my Mega so that I would be faster than everything outside of that Excadrill that he had. High Horsepower went into Sceptile after taking a little bit of damage on the previous turn. and it actually was not enough to KO Sceptile. Sceptile was left at like 9 HP. It got hit by a knockoff the previous turn. And Raging Bull was able to KO the Slowbro, and the Earth Power from Sceptile was able to KO the Excadrill. Then a Double Protect. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Double Protect failed on the Tyranitar, and Close Combat was able to take out that Tyranitar. I got my KOs mixed up a little bit. It's been a little bit since this game. But yes, a Tauros and Simisear tag team takedown to take game one. Both of them showed up, showed out, and did whatever they could. Getting into game two, this was a little bit more fun, or a little bit more fun lead, I should say. I brought my Paldean Tauros and Hippowdon, which, if you know the nicknames, Gerald is the Tauros and Big Tooth is the Hippowdon, against the Tyranitar and Excadrill lead. Something very fun about this Hippowdon is that it is Sand Force instead of Sand Stream, because specifically of that Mega Tyranitar and the Excadrill. So I was thinking, oh, Sand is probably going to get set up, so I'm going to have Sand Force on my Hippowdon so that I can bulk it out while also being able to do a little bit more damage with Earthquake. So immediately a switch from the Tyranitar out into the Galarian Slowbro, so Earthquake hits the Slowbro for a little bit of damage. Both Tauros and Excadrill protected. Another swap on the next turn, swapped from Excadrill into Gallade. It got hit by a Raging Bull, which did quite a bit of damage. Peter Parker throws... What does that mean?
That's mine. We're making a Spider-Man 3 reference from the same Remy when Tobey Maguire was it. Here's dirt in your eyes.
I haven't watched that one, so I do not get that.
With the sand coming up, I thought that was a great reference to make. Throw a little bit of throwing another reference in there to King of the Hill, Pocket Sand.
I do know that one. But yes, the Slowbro did die to the Sandstream because it lived, I think it was it the same turn of the Earthquake? I think it was. It lives some.
I think it was at like 2%, but then it died to Sandstorm, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think you are. And then Aqua Jet from Gerald was able to KO that Gallade. Tyranitar was very mean. Tyranitar had Ice Punch and was able to KO Mega Sceptile, and then also freeze Big Tooth so that he was not able to KO Mega Tyranitar before it was able to KO Mega Scrafty, so that I had to lose one in the differential category. But then Tauros came in to clean up Excadrill, and Hippowdon thought out to KO Tyranitar. If I wanted to play safe for
that
differential,
Big Tooth was big gnawing through the eyes.
It really was. If I wanted to play differential, I should have swapped it out, but I was like, I want Big Tooth to get this KO because I hadn't gotten a KO yet, despite doing like all the damage. So very happy that he thought out and was able to KO the Tyranitar. And as you so eloquently put it, SSC brings home the Goldango. I forgot I put that picture there. Shell Shockers of the game. Regenerative Slowbro over Quick Draw. Yeah, this was very interesting. I was very happy that I was able to trace it in game one, because that meant that I was able to take a little bit more damage on Gardevoir and not be so scared of the poison type moves that he could throw out. My Gardevoir was super physically bulky. It was like 32 HP and like 12 or 13 defense. So he was going to live kind of anything. So being able to trace that regenerator allowed me to kind of play a little bit more risky, just because I could take a hit and then know that I'm getting some HP back as I swapped out. I want to know what you mean by my Zoo Crew of Doom.
I mean, let's see. You got a hippo, you got a water buffalo, you got a monkey, you got a lizard with a Christmas tree tail, I guess. So you just kind of got the whole zoo crew over there going nuts.
Yeah, it's very funny how, like, I do not have a lot of like commonly seen Pokemon. I have King Gambit and I have like Rotom, and then kind of Sceptile is who you see, and then the rest, like, you don't see Hippowdon, you don't see Simisear, you don't see Tauros. So I'm very like happy with how it's been working out so far.
I guess it's also a zoo and an aquarium too, because you also do have an eel.
That's true. I do have an eel. I mean, eels are maybe in a zoo if there's some water. I don't know.
I'm just used to seeing them in aquariums, if anything else.
That's fair. Simisear was kind of a joke pick, mainly because of the pre-draft stuff where I was like, oh, the monkeys are actually pretty good, but it's actually been super good in these first 2 weeks. Fake Out is really nice to have. It's been able to take more KOs than I thought it would the entire season. So yeah, it's been, I've been leaning a little bit, probably too much on it, but so far it hasn't let me down. So can't complain about that. And then Sandforce Hippo, I talked about that earlier, being able to bulk out my Hippowdon as much as I could, while also being able to deal a bit more damage than you would kind of expect from that. And then we've got a beautiful picture of Medium Rare the monkey.
I also remember when I was writing that down, the thing that shocked me also about the Slowbro is usually I'm not used to getting Regenerator in this case with being Galarian Slowbro, because for me, I'm like, it's more of a meme of I am speed with quick draw, quick claw pumps.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, it could have been very annoying. So I'm kind of glad that it was able to be shut down pretty quickly. So, yeah, headed into our next game.
Yeah, this is one of the dawn matches of the I'm going to say that name wrong. I don't know how many times. Ivalice. Maybe, hopefully I've been saying it right, one way or another. Iron Crowns, coached by Moggy, and then Anastar Angels, coached by Moon. And kind of just hopping straight into game one, it was a battle of supports here, because you had Aromatisse, which, Dev, I'm guessing you have this somewhere, because I don't remember seeing this match, but if I had to guess, I'm sure that Aromatisse was packing the funny move we discussed for special defense.
I actually don't believe it was. When I watched through this, I don't remember seeing it get clicked. So, no, I don't think it actually had it.
Well, then, was it Trick Room? I'm just guessing.
I guess I'll go over the games that I did. You go over the ones that you did. That way, this can become a lot easier. So I was the one who went through this one. This is one of the few ones that I actually was able to go through. I wrote this down wrong. It was a lead of Aromatisse and Archelodon, not versus Archelodon, because clearly they are on the same side of the board, versus the Meowstic male and the Mega Metagross from Moon. This is a super grindy game, and what's new, Moon nearly timed out again. Yeah, it was a Mega Venusaur versus Mega Metagross battle. It was a very close one. This game specifically, there was a key turn kind of towards the end of the game where Meowstic used a luring voice onto Mega, or not Mega Scizor. Mega Scizor? Not Mega. No, because it's Mega Venusaur. Not Mega Scizor. It used alluring voice, and it allowed, but Scizor lived at like 1 HP. I'm not sure if it was literally 1 HP because it was the spectate, so it was 1%. But living at 1 HP allowed it to, allowed Moggy to be able to not have a double attack into the Mega Venusaur that was out right next to it. Because if that was the case, then it would have potentially been able to take that Venusaur would have had to take a double attack, but instead Moon was forced to split her attacks and not be able to do enough damage to that Venusaur, and that Scizor was just kind of the key to winning the game for Moggy. I believe probably that Moggy still wins that without, if the Scizor goes down there, but with that Scizor it was kind of a guaranteed win for Moggy. So a very close game. Again, I would recommend going to watch all of the games that you can, because all of them are very fun to watch, especially when the games are super close like this. So moving into game 2, it's raining time. Rain was brought out, the Pelipper, the Archelodon, the Mega Blastoise, everything that wants the rain has the rain. And we immediately start out with an oops, no Mega. Blastoise forgot to Mega because guess what? Moon timed out again. It-
So did it turn out mean no fake out as well, or?
I don't know. I don't think it had fake out. I also don't know the set, but I don't think that fake out was going to be clicked there regardless. I think it might have been like, if she didn't time out, maybe she would have aura sphered into the Archaludon, but the Archaludon did protect that turn. Pelipper was able to set up Tailwind on that turn where Moon timed out, and it was just a non-mega water pulse into the Pelipper. I can't remember what the Meowstic did. I think it set up a screen. I don't exactly remember though. It was the battle of Gen 1's Mega Venusaur yet again and Mega Blastoise. It was a Mirror Coat Blastoise, which of all moves, that's not something you expect. Archaludon went for an Electro Shot into the now slower Blastoise, which I can only assume Blastoise was trained faster just because you don't really want to be losing a speed tie, or not even a speed tie, you just don't want to be slower than Archaludon normally. But it was able to take the Electro Shot with a little bit of health remaining, and then KO Archaludon back with Mirror Coat. Another super grindy game. It was a Life Dew Clefable versus a Giga Drain Venusaur, so things were just not dying. But the Mirror Coat was kind of the main way of being able to KO that Mega Venusaur on Moon's side. So because that was revealed earlier in the game, there was not really a way for Moon to KO that Mega Venusaur once the end game happened, because Moggy was like, oh, I'm just not going to target your Blastoise and you can't kill me. So just unfortunate end there, but Moggy was able to take the game 2-0. So Iblis Iron Crowns were able to take that game. I don't think there was any. Oh, there were takeaways. I forgot if I did those or not. Venusaur was way too tanky. Mega Venusaur is such a tank, especially if you can get it with like Archaludon, which Moggy is able to do. Rain makes it just even more insane because you can't hit it with fire type moves at all. Great game plan from Moggy to utilize the bulk versus power. A lot of his team was super bulky and like was not reliant at all to get those one-hit KOs that a lot of other teams are kind of relying on. So being able to kind of bulk out and kind of whittle Moon's team down was a great game plan. Hydreigon, hi bye, it showed up and immediately died. So
Yeah, that I can't say anything because I did that with Ditto.
Yeah, do you have anything just from my recap of that you have comments on?
I think the surprising factor was the Mirror Coat Blastoise was the main thing. Other than that,
yeah, I think the Mirror Coat was great prep. I think just kind of the wrong spot to bring it out, but also like, how are you going to kill? I guess I don't know if they had Aura Sphere or not. But yeah, I don't know how as you KO Archaludon in that spot if you don't use Mirror Coat to show it off.
yeah. But we'll hop into our next match. The Sacramento Skeleturge, coached by, I believe, Emma. I'm blanking right now. I don't know that.
Yeah, you're correct.
And then the Toledo Torcos, who is coached by King Win. We're gonna just kind of get right into game one. It was the clash of the generations, the old school versus the new kids on the block. For leads, we had Dragapult and Mega Raichu Y from the Toledo Torcos, and then Mega Glamora and Slowking, led by Emma for the Sacramento Skeleturge. Unfortunately, Slowking was just kind of a sitting duck. I believe that probably a Trick Room was trying to go up, but no protect happens, and Mega Raichu Y just hits a Zap Cannon and OHKOs it. So, and then
it was kind of funny to watch.
Raichu immediately gets marked by an Earth Power from Glamora, so one destroys the other Mega, one kills a Slowbro, but no Trick Room. So, probably a trade-off for good for both ends in certain forms. It was a very hyper offensive game too, with KOs nearly every single turn, just big hits going back and forth. A Sash Gardevoir is able to KO a Mega Glamora, though. So then a Snorlax and a Camera Up are able to finish off with, of all things, there's a Shell Smash Torkoal that comes out, which is somewhat surprising.
Yeah, I have a comment about that. I wanted to use,
but if you're not running Wild Herb and you're also having a Trick Room option, it's an interesting option.
I wanted to use Shell Smash Torkoal all season, like last season when I had Torkoal, and was never able to bring it out just because like one reason or another it just wasn't good. And then the first game I see of the Torkoal, it uses Shell Smash, and I was mad.
Well, don't worry, you can draft it in for season 4, or if it gets dropped for some reason. But then you know, I'll keep that in the back foot for potentially some other reference. We won't talk about it now. But yes, Sacramento Skeleturge wins game 1. And then going into game 2, we see Espeon come out. Which,
that's supposed to say revenge. Not revenge.
I was like, I don't know what revenge is, but I'm just going to say that Espeon is out. So. But yeah, leads are Mega Glamora and Sneasler versus Mega Raichu, Y, and Espeon. Raichu loses the first turn by protecting, and then a crit Zap Cannon takes down Mega Glamora. Espeon, I'm sure, I don't see it on here, but I'm probably sure Espeon hit a psychic move and probably KO'd the Sneasler, if I had to take a guess.
Yes, I think it was, it didn't, Sneasler swapped out, and then Camera Up was hit with a Psyshock.
Gotcha. So then Espeon does hit the Camera Up pretty hard, but it takes itself out with Life Orb, and then Goldingo and Sneasler bring it back to a 2v2 on the following turn. And Goldingo KOs Espeon, and Sneasler KOs Raichu. And Goldingo unfortunately just misses a KO on Glade. Probably, if I remember right, probably a Make It Rain miss, unfortunately.
It was a Shadow Ball.
Or maybe
it was a Shadow Ball into the Glade, and the Glade lived with, I want to say like 12% left. Which, if it went down there, I think that the Skeletors would have been able to win the game. But being able to live, kind of the same thing with the Moon and Moggy game, where a KO on that turn probably swings the tide, but just not enough.
Gotcha. So it's probably bulky Glade then.
Yeah.
Can you tell I've slept a little bit since then, folks?
Yeah.
But Torkoal kind of KOs in return to lock the game 2. So we go to game 3. I don't have a dinging mechanic. We probably need to get a soundboard for that at some point, Dev.
We should definitely get a soundboard. That'd be fun. This I can't type. It says game 2.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be game 3. I was like, oh well, I got it. But Dragapult kind of comes in with a furious time. Leads are Mega Glamora and Slowking versus Espeon and Mega Raichu, though. Starting off, Slowking gets pretty much marked again by a Zap Cannon, but obviously it's kind of a run back of game 1 with Glamora Earth powering the Raichu. The only difference is there's an Espeon there this time for the lead. But Dragapult outspeeds him with the help with an Espeon helping hand. KO's Glamora and Camera Up. Then a Snorlax is able to come in and KO Dragapult. I'm pretty sure it was a Crunch, if I'm remembering right.
I want to say it was Crunch, because I don't know what else it would be able to hit it with. So yes, I'm going to say it was Crunch.
Unless there was just the crazy, I'm not running no guard by click Fissure.
It definitely wasn't Fissure.
Dang. But Glade comes in as the final mon in the back, and it's able to clean up Snorlax with a Sacred Sword.
Yep.
I'm guessing it's been a little bit since I've remember reviewing this match, but if I remember right, I'm pretty sure it's Sacred Sword. And then Toledo Torcos takes a game for a 2-1 win.
Oh, there's no takeaways for that one. Yeah,
No,
this
it
is a
probably
very
should be.
interesting game. I don't. If it's there, it's not. It goes right to the next one.
But probably Espeon there showing up and just being able to helping hand would probably not have been what I would have prepped for on Espeon. I know it gets it, but probably wouldn't think about that and stuff. But
yeah. My
Also, probably
thing
would
was
prepare
I
for
didn't realize
Rifle.
how fast Espeon was, because Espeon
it's like
Espeon was
1
outspeeding Mega
something.
Glamora. Yeah, it's like 109 or
Hang
like 108, but it's
Hang on,
faster
pull
than
up
you think
Showdown.
it was. I was like,
I'll
I
get back
spent
to
the
you
whole
momentarily.
first game or second game, because that was the first game Espeon showed up, thinking that thing was Scarf because it was outspeeding Mega Glamora, and I think even Sneasler, I think it outsped. And I was just
It's
like,
almost-
dang, this thing's fast.
It's almost like a mini psychic type Flutter Mane that I'm looking at this, because it has 130 special attack and 110 speed, and then 95
110, okay.
special defense, and then it goes down to 65, 65, 60 for HP and physical side.
Okay, so it's kind of like a Flutter Mane and almost Gardevoir also. I think that's like nearly identical to Gardevoir's HP and defense.
Well, do you have anything you might want to add for our awards? Well, I know we know what the dud of the game was there.
Yeah. Slow King just getting destroyed. Yeah, definitely dud was Slow King getting demolished. I think if I had to give out an MVP, it would probably be the Espeon, just because it was able to almost single-handedly turn the tides of the game. Being able to outspeed Mega Glamora and being able to threaten so much damage into everything on the Skeledirge side. I don't think if Toledo did not have Espeon, I don't think that this would have been a victory.
Yeah, it would have been, could be a different outcome there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if we want to hop into these other matches, these are the ones that we didn't have recordings for. So this is the part where me and Dev are going to do a new segment called Spectre Speculating.
So kind of asterisks on this is this one did get recorded, and I think it was uploaded like a little bit right before we started recording this, but neither of us got a chance to actually go watch it. So yeah, this is like, I think this is the only one that has a recording that we didn't see the recording for beforehand. That one of us didn't see the recording for, that is.
Yeah.
So
we kind of included things right from the match reporting, so we know what killed what and kind of what the outcome was slightly, but not completely knowing what all happened in the game. So we kind of had to speculate a little bit. But
yeah,
one thing I put down there.
This one, if you want.
Yeah, you go for it.
Yeah. So it looks like another kind of unfortunate trick room game for St. Louis, as also kind of happened in game 1 or week 1. There was not a lot of trick room KOs. Dragonite, Ditto, Primarina all getting a KO for Manhattan. Well, the only one to get a KO in game 1 of for St. Louis was the Hatterene, which if trick room's going up, then that's probably not going to be happening, especially when Hatterene just hits so hard. And just looking at the opposing team, only Mega Scovillain can resist the fairy moves. It does look like Mega Scovillain went down, so I'm curious if that was to like a status effect or if the Dragonite died to a status effect, because I do see 2 deaths to 1 KO, so very interesting there. But yeah, just something. I also that happened in the other game as well, where Mega Scovillain went down. Yeah, okay, that's very weird. I'm very curious to watch this game to see actually what happened.
Rage powder, spicy spray, something or other.
Yeah, something like that. But I have to assume that Dragonite was inner focus to make sure that Kangaskhan could not KO it, or not KO, fake it out. So I think just having inner focus against the Trick Room option without having a priority blocker. So if Trick Room does get up, you can still get E-speeded from that Dragonite. So very interesting there. And then if we move to game 2, kind of the same story. Primarina getting all the KOs this time, 3-0. Ditto chipping in for the last one, but Mega Crab being the only one to get a KO. 2 different Megas brought by St. Louis. Neither of them were able to get anything going except for kind of the Mega Crab getting 1 KO, but clearly that was not enough.
I feel like maybe the Ditto copied the Crab in that game potentially, and maybe Trick Room did go up, but
could be. Yeah, I'm not sure. It just we should have yeah. But yeah, Manhattan taking the win on that. Primarina getting 4 of the 8 possible KOs, so Primarina showing up yet again. Yeah, I think St. Louis moves to 0-2, and then Manhattan moves to 1-1 after this game.
And then kind of get into our next game here. We have the Detroit Steel Wings, coached by Seabad, versus Hungry Howden Doors, coached by Heather. As you can kind of see there, we got both of the Megas kind of doing what they can. Game 1, Raichu kind of goes boom with Goldingo helping out. But in Game 2, it's a Crocodile Spotlight and had more KOs than the Megastar Raptor.
That's very interesting.
Which, looking in that second one, it's also, part of me is like, there's still Crocodile. Maybe there's a scarf or something in a situation there, and it was just... Yeah, I don't know if there's... Maybe there's a tailwind set up by the Star Raptor on one turn, and then an Earthquake? Because I see 2 ground weak mons there, but I'm not completely sure. Without having any video recording to discuss it anymore, so we kind of have to just speculate once again, but the Detroit Steel Wings brought out the win for a 2-0 victory.
Yeah, interesting. It looks like Heather brought out the Perish Trap again, as they did in week 1, but clearly did not have the intended effect as it kind of did in that week 1 game. I will say, because I played Seabad week 1, very, very hard team to prep for with Mega Raichu Y, Goldango, and Staraptor. So this is a very scary team to go face up against.
And even though it didn't get brought, I wouldn't be surprised if in team preview there was also the Sinistra somewhere on there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that
just to make it that much worse.
Very, very scary team. Yeah, so moving into the next one, we've got the San Antonio Spectriers and the Los Angeles Lilies. Quick panic or quick thinking. Yeah, so this was a very interesting game to kind of look at the KOs for. Lipard, not one you really see getting KOs. I assume that was probably with a foul play or something, but yeah, everybody in game 1 chipping in to get a KO. Swampert from Los Angeles being the only one to get a KO for them. Moving into game 2, we also see Lipard getting 2 KOs, being the KO leader overall, which is very interesting to see from, again, Lipard, who you don't really expect. Armarouge getting the lone KO in game 2. How many fake outs and Thunder Waves did Lipard get off? One can only assume that probably a lot, just because Lipard loves to be Lipard.
I think I wrote this one, and now that I think about it, probably maybe it wasn't Thunderwave, it had to be something else, because if you try to Thunderwave a Prankster into Sceptile, that's going to be a feels bad.
Yeah. I mean, it also could be that you're powering up your own Sceptile.
Oh, wait, that is true.
I don't know. That's could be. Who outsped Sceptile or Swampert? I feel like probably Swampert outsped, just because you can't Thunderwave it, but also Lipard could, I don't know if Lipard gets anything other than Rain Dance, but it could have maybe shut down the weather. Don't know.
I think it's one of those situations of how each team was building their minds, because I was thinking, I don't know exactly. I know Sceptile is fast, but I don't know if Swampert outspeeds in rain depending on how it's built.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, Spiritomb and Audino not being in the bingo card, yeah, definitely was not like expecting to see those two show up. It makes sense because of it looks like a little bit of a Trick Room game plan with Armarouge also being there and Archelodon probably being trained a bit slower because it doesn't look like there's anything that it kind of naturally outspeeds. So could definitely see the option for Trick Room being there. It doesn't look like the Audino Mega at all, which is kind of interesting because it is a Mega Audino, I believe, right? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because I think Arlie was going to try to get,
Meganium.
Mega Meganium.
Yeah.
I think, but then realized that she couldn't get a third Mega after, and it was kind of had just Mega Audino.
Yeah. It also looks like the Swampert didn't Mega in game 1, so probably the Mega Sceptile was faster than Swampert. I didn't even see that until I looked at the Audino that was a Mega. So yeah, that Sceptile probably did outspeed the Swampert.
That also could just be a typo by me or somebody else.
Oh, that's true.
Him to
I didn't even think about that.
There could be typos like that in the future too. So.
Okay, then we don't know if Audino or Swampert Mega. But San Antonio Spectators did take that 2-0.
And then kind of another match that happened was the Seattle Super Sceptiles, coached by Brennan Elam. Hopefully I'm saying that right from Discord. One of the two. Joe Brown's brother as well. So, and then the Southside Sabres, excuse me, by Lucrative. With looking at the games, we see it was a Floette laser tag game of death going on with 7 KOs overall. There is also the fact of the Delphox and Sneasler Wombo combo failed. So, and also just knowing that it's not a Mega Staraptor. At any point, was it Final Gambit and was it scarfed, or did its wings just get clipped before it could even try to do that? And the winner of that match was also the Seattle Super Sceptiles going 2-1 in that set.
Kind of interesting enough, just looking at the KOs, it goes from like seemingly close game 1 to just kind of blowout game 2 and 3 for Seattle. Well, they've lost game 1. I'm not going to say convincingly, but just it seems like there was a lot more going on in that game 1 versus games 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Anything else on that one, or you want to keep going?
Just looking through there, I guess it didn't completely fail in that game 1, but then it's also wasn't necessarily the lead for the Sneasler Delphox, so that could have also caused a little trouble.
Yeah, it could have been. Maybe it was Final Gambit and like it just wasn't able to KO or something. I don't know.
But yeah, we can. Unless you have something else to add there, I think we can go on to our next match to speculate.
Yeah, I think maybe the only thing I have is that I bet you that it was Final Gambit in game 1, and it probably used it into the Corviknight because they probably thought Mega Staraptor or Mega Floette was going to protect. And then game 2, you see that it's Lycanroc Dusk and Mega Floette. So I bet you that the Lycanroc Dusk probably Excel rocked into it. And because it's probably Scarf.
That's true.
But who knows? I'm just speculating because we didn't see it.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got the Sherwood Shiftries, which I will pronounce correctly, I promise, versus the Columbus Coridon. Taking a look at game 1 and game 2. Game 1, Mawile 3-0. Game 2, Mawile 2-0. So Mega Mawile just blowing things up yet again. Very interesting to see Malamar come. That's not a Mega Malamar. That's just a normal Malamar. So not the most obvious Pokemon to come in the world. So yeah, very interesting to see. Dragonite showing up as well, getting a couple of KOs, going 3-1. Zard Y showing up in game 2 instead of game 1. I don't really know kind of what they felt of the matchup because, yet again, not a recorded game. But yeah, Mega Mile Turbo Granny. I didn't even see that. That's 5 of the 8 KOs.
Yeah, that's me. That's a Dawn to Dawn reference. So
makes sense.
But yeah, 5 out of 8. So it didn't even look like there was a trick room mode, and it was just speed blitzing the game. So
yeah, unless Morpeko learns trick room.
I mean, hey, I don't know. Pikachu clones caught me off one time when I was on ladder, and it was like, oh, cool. So it gets fake out too. Yay! I lost this match. It wasn't Kaduya that was on playing against either.
Yeah. Megazard Y not really able to do anything in that game 2, but that does look like that Glamora came. So curious about how scared it was of that Glamora, and then the Dragonite being able to get a couple of KOs. The Venusaur and I mean, it doesn't look like that Venusaur was able to get a ton of sleep powers off. Just looking at kind of who got KO'd. I would assume it was probably a earth power into the Glamora, and then Whimsicott dying by like a heat wave. But yeah, kind of interesting that it doesn't look like Venusaur is able to really get a lot done going in that game. So
yeah. Which I guess we can kind of go on to our final match for week 2 if we want to, unless you have something else.
Nope, I'm good to go on.
But kind of our last match there is we have the New York Mudbrays, coached by Lore C, against the Memphis Manetrix, coached by Will. One of the first things you'll notice is that Missing No showed up to this battle and got a KO because there was an unfortunate forfeit by Will. We're trying to do what we can to not have forfeits, but sometimes it happens out of habits.
It's gonna happen more this season. It's unfortunate that people are gonna forget. It just happens.
Yeah, especially now that we're on Champions instead of Showdown.
Yep.
But it was kind of also a Tyranitar against the world, both in games 1 and 2, as you'll kind of see there of it being the only thing from Will's side that got a KO in either match there. So Scrafty and Zarina just kind of getting things left and right in that first match, and then just kind of probably the same kind of deal in game 2. You just got to see Aegislash and Blaziken show up for the second match.
Yep. As a Mega Scrafty user, I can just say firsthand how much it kind of shuts down those sand teams because of that double intimidate and then fake out close combat being super effective against both Tyranitar and Excadrill, and then not really caring if I don't think Will has Corviknight. I think we saw that on another team, but the Corviknight modes against those also are not like the greatest. Obviously it's better with body press, but then that's where all of the teammates come in. It looks like Blaziken did come from Loicy's side, so yeah, it's very tough matchup when you have sand against a Mega Scrafty.
I'm also curious because I've seen, I wonder if it's special or just physical Blaziken in this match.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like because of, well, you can't get burned, so I would probably say physical, but no way to really know.
I just say that because there's heat wave things, but then again, looking at it, probably not in this case.
I would bet physical just because Mega Tyranitar gets so specially bulky that it would make more sense just to be physical. It looks like probably all 4 were physical this game, would be my guess. Obviously, I can't say for sure.
Yeah, it would be just, once again, one of those we can only speculate on. I'm just thinking of Heat Wave, especially in that game 2 against Sinistcha and Excadrill.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't kill, it's still going to hurt.
Yeah, so we can move into, I thought, a little preview, the kill leaderboard for week 2.
Yeah, this is kind of just a little thing to kind of give us a recap of what's at the top on the left-hand side and what's at the bottom on the right-hand side. Without giving too much spoilers, this is a little skewed because of some week week 3 changes going in very soon on a Monday of week 3. So there's a couple things missing here that you may or may not notice, depending on if you're playing or been in the Discord and have access to the doc to see.
I wonder if it would be smart to, at the end of week 2, make a copy of the spreadsheet, just so we have like a, all right, well, week 3, week 4, whatever. Just make a like blank copy and then fill it in if needed, so that way we don't have it ever skewed again. But that's just off the brain.
Yeah, that's that one is completely and utterly my fault. Let's put it that way, without revealing what happened in my week 3 match. But thought it'd be a unique thing to see here. What's at the top, what's at the bottom, what might surprise us. Primarina being at the top of the leaderboards in 3rd place was kind of a shocker to me.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because Primarina, like, obviously it has really high special attack, but it's not the fastest thing in the world, so you wouldn't see it, I feel, getting as many KOs kind of just as it is.
I'm also sure some people are shocked, not me. I'm just absolutely thrilled to bits that well, it's not probably at the top 10. It's still on the leaderboard of Palde and Toros in week 2 going 4-0 on the top side of the leaderboards.
Yep.
But kind of look at the right side here at the bottom. I'm looking through the list right now. I'm a little surprised Mega Aerodactyl is at 0-2 on one of the teams.
Yeah, that is a little bit interesting. Yeah, because it's got such high attack. It's super fast. I wonder how much of it's just because it clicks Tailwind. It doesn't have the sash that a non-Mega would have. So I wonder if just knowing that it's not sashed, you just can immediately like send super strong attack into it. It just dies right after clicking Tailwind. I wonder how much like that happens. But
also towards the tail end, seeing Archalodon also makes me sad on that side.
I'm looking at the Mega Delphox being owned to there as well. That's very interesting because the Mega Delphox is so good. Yeah.
Some of the other things at the bottom, it's like, in some ways some of those may be shocking, but when I see them, like, those are more support mines, so it makes sense for the bottom of the little boards. A lot of the other things not being outliers and not being surprised to seeing a bunch of the megas up there would be my thing. So
yeah,
but yeah.
And also just Toxapex being on the board at all for the KO board at 3-0. It's just so funny. And then Lipard's right beneath it. Like, you do not expect those to get any sorts of KOs.
Granted, I know Lipard's a prankster mon, but I don't know how much you're using other than fake out T-Wave most times. I guess
Foulplay might do a bunch. I don't know.
And I guess in some cases, maybe a little bit of weather control here and there, but
yeah,
I'm sure you can still run it. It's a little bit more offensive prankster, but I just don't know enough about it because I haven't really used it that many times.
Yeah. Oh, is there anything else? It looks like this is all for slides.
if it even gets it on there, I'm going to check something just for fun. Someone else might use this at some point, but that's fine. I just want to check something to see if it still gets a certain move, because I think it works. We get priority with it with Prankster. If I can find the right format on here. Let's see. Okay, yeah, it still does get that. At some point, I'm wondering when Prankster Copycat is going to be brought.
Oh, jeez.
And what moves go off or what doesn't go off that you want to.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
So, I may have gave Moggy something that I will regret telling both for both of us, but to find out. But yeah, I think that's all I have, unless you got something else, Dev.
Yeah, I don't think I've got anything else. Hopefully we can get our week 3 recap out closer when week 3 actually ends.
Yeah. Maybe not be so confused with our own notes.
Yeah.
Talking about myself here.
Yeah. Hopefully, now that we're both not busy anymore. Well, I shouldn't say we're not busy at all. We're less busy. So we'll be able to get, hopefully, I want to say that we're able to upload these on Sunday. Is that?
I would. I mean, the
I don't know.
upload schedule for matches is like
It's the
not
upload
currently.
date is Thursday. So
Yeah,
I'm
so
wondering.
I think sometime on the weekend, more than likely.
Yeah,
I would
Saturday,
say.
Sunday, probably. I feel like Sunday makes it a little bit safer just because then there's 3 days to watch the games. So
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
we can start getting these out Sunday, and then probably going forward, I almost want to do like a little week, like next week, like schedule, just to like kind of go over who's playing who might. Well, actually, I don't know, because most of the games for that week will be over. We'll see.
Yeah.
Just brainstorming.
Either way, as always, keep battling, and we'll catch you. What, Dev?
On the flip turn.
Yes.
I got it. I was
right.
gonna say flip side. That wasn't right.
Yeah, it worked. We'll see y'all next week, though.
See y'all later.